Make sure I'm on. All right. So, welcome to Pistons Center Court, presented by the Sports Movement Network. What's going on, everybody? So, the Detroit Pistons beat the Dallas Mavericks. It is 120, 124 to 117. Man, oh man. That is all I got to say. What's going on, 2K Plays? Man, oh man. So, I'm going to do something different with Piston Center Court. This is going to be more or less like a pre-game, post-game kind of deal. Uh, Now, on the What's Going On 1 Pride 40. So, on game days, I might go on just a little bit early. Start the stream to do a pregame, but it'll be incorporated with the live stream. And then, what's going on, Abdul Terrell? He says, I'm here to support, but only for 5 minutes. I appreciate you coming in, brother. Uh, but Piston Center Court is going to be more or less like a post-game show. More or less on a, what do you call it? On a, Friday or Thursday, Wednesday. I'm sorry, Wednesday and a Saturday. Uh, what's going on, Greg Tell? What's going on, Gloria's daughter? Gloria's daughter says, "Boo, Detroit basketball." Hey, them boys fought hard today. Greg Tell says, "What up, though? Detroit basketball. What's going on?" Uh, One Pride 40 says, "Sup?" Abdul Terrell says, "Sleeping face, sleeping face, sleeping face. Got to try and get some tonight." Hey, I feel you, brother. I feel you. I wanted to get on so bad to stream this game, so bad. But I was at work, so 9 to 5 is a little bit more important. Maybe if I get 25 to 30,000 subs, maybe I'll consider hanging up the shears. But or I'll make my own schedule. But as far as Piston Center Court, that's what the plan is. It's going to be done on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Usually after the game. If there is no game, I might go on a little bit earlier and talk some Pistons basketball. I know I will not be streaming Friday, but the goal is Wednesdays and Saturdays, and if a Pistons game beats out a Monday night football game, maybe I'll do Pistons game on Mondays. Until the football season concludes, and then I'll be doing basketball for basketball season. Gloria's daughter says, "Fine if you are into that." LOL. uh, One Pride 40 says, "You're gonna talk about college football and basketball, and third ball is overrated." It's a possibility I bring in some college and football talks. I'm not 100% sure yet. Uh, but obviously when you're in the draft season and things like that, I'll definitely be talking about college and especially for the NFL draft and the NBA draft and things like that. 2K Play says, "Who do Pistons play next?" the Cleveland Cavaliers Friday at 7 o'clock against former Michigan's head coach John Beilein. So it'll be the first time John Beilein comes to Detroit since he took the job in Cleveland. Third ball equals Harbaugh. Yeah. He got to get it together. I do not have no faith in my man's that starting quarterback. I think he is hot trash. We definitely got to get some better quarterback play. Dwayne Boatwright says, "Yo, big ups, bro. DB is in the house." I appreciate that, Dwayne Boatwright. Glorious Dar says, "I can't stand Harbaugh." 2K Play says, "LOL, easy win." Glorious Dar says, "Patterson does suck." Yes, he does. I don't like really saying his name because, during the NFL draft season, I did tweet Shea Patterson say that you are trash. But, man, I am glad to be back on Pistons center court. So I do want to take this time and kind of read off a little bit of the stat line and give my thoughts about the game. And I will say this, first and foremost, Christian Wood, you're making the team. That man is a man amongst boys. I love his game style. And, I think Greg Kelser said it the best. Late in the game, you're going to be seeing Derrick Rose play. Get used to it. And I am loving that play. He had 18 points and 5 assists. I am amazed by that. Like, this boy is going to ball out. And I think he's in a good spot. We don't need a superstar Derrick Rose. We need a competent Derrick Rose that, can play with the ones, play with the twos, get the offense going, and, and play his role the right way. I always like to say play the right way. Why? Because former Pistons championship head coach Larry Brown, he said, you got to play the right way. In order to win in this league, you got to play the right way. Glorious Daughter says, today's bench was fierce. Absolutely. Today's stat line for the Detroit Pistons. Blake Griffin, 27 minutes, 17 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. He shot 50% from the field goal, which is, 6 for 12. He shot 2 for 7 out of 3 and made 50% of his free throws, 3 for 6. He did have 5 turnovers, so I don't like to see that. He led the team in turnovers. And then Reggie Jackson, Drummond, and Luke Kennard and Christian Wood did have, all of them had 2 turnovers, as well. So we still got to take care of the basketball. That's still a big thing. We had 19 turnovers to their 14 turnovers. So we were turning the ball over way too many times in the first 2 games. Yes, it is preseason. I don't mind. But as these games keep rolling in, you got to find that rhythm, taking care of that basketball. It's one of the most critical things in basketball. Without the basketball, you can't go up and down the court. You can't move that ball without the ball. And you can't shoot the ball. You got to have that basketball, and you got to treat it like it's a baby. You take care of your baby, right? You got to take care of that basketball. Wish Sekou came out earlier. Absolutely, 2K plays. One Prior 40 says, how did my guy Sekou do? Sekou had 2 minutes of game action and had only one personal foul. That's all he did today. I do want to see a lot more of him. I really do. I think this kid is going to have, a tremendous career here in Detroit. I was super stoked during the draft. So I definitely want to see our 15th overall pick more. Gloria's daughter says the turnovers are insane. Absolutely. That's 2 games. We've had, I want to say both games were 19 turnovers. That's turning the ball over at an alarming rate. Gloria's daughter also says they had that problem last year. Absolutely they did. And, we can't have that. Especially against, title contending teams. You want to put a dent and you want to make a statement, take care of the basketball. That's half the battle. One Pride 40 says, well, he is very raw still and going to take time. Yeah, but I mean, this is the preseason. This is the time that you can develop with real game action. You can't simulate game action in practice. So I definitely want to see him acclimated a little bit more. I mean, if you want to restrict his minutes a little bit during the season and, send him over the G League and things like that, to get more valuable minutes and things like that, I'm okay with that. But, the preseason is meant for that. Abdul Terrell says, I'm starting a petition to trade Reggie Jackson. Will you guys sign it? I am not going to sign it until about this trade deadline. Only because of this one reason and one reason only. Boost trade value. You boost the trade value, you could get some decent stuff in return for Reggie Jackson. I mean, any title contending team could use a Reggie Jackson. He is no slouch. But he's not a starter. So, on a 1-year prove it deal kind of thing for a half season, you could get some decent return on him. But I will definitely sign it, come the trade deadline. Let's seriously boost his trade value and then go out and trade him. I do like Reggie Jackson, so I hope he lands somewhere, good. But Reggie Jackson had 26 minutes, scored 13 points, had a rebound, and 5 assists. That is one good thing about our point guards. Reggie Jackson played 26. He had 13 points and 5 assists. Derrick Rose had 24 minutes, had 18 points and 5 assists. Derrick Rose shot better. So Derrick Rose is a better shooter than Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson today made 3 out of 8 3-pointers. Derrick Rose only shot 1 and missed it. So, I mean, I do want to see better play out of Reggie. But like I said, this is a, preseason. So, they're going to get their, game rust off and, get into their groove. And, hopefully, the first half of the season can gain us a lead in the Eastern Conference. And, we can actually go out and, really compete and put ourselves in good position. What's going on, daughter of Yah? Appreciate you coming in. I am waiting for the post-game presser and things like that. So excuse me if I'm trying to also keep listening into the thing. But One Pride 40 says, oh, hold on one quick second, One Pride 40. I haven't forgot your message. I have no idea why my setup is not working 100%. All right. One Pride 40 says, I wish we drafted Kevin Porter Jr. or Carson Edwards. Yeah, I think the only biggest knock on Carson Edwards was his height. I was reading some things on Bleacher Report, and also in the pregame that Dwayne Casey likes certain type of body builds, certain length, certain arm length, certain speed, strength, and things like that in each position. I don't fully agree with all that, because I think Carson Edwards can ball. And I will give shout out where shout out is due. Shout out to 313 JMO for putting game on me with Carson Edwards. I know me and him had numerous battles against Carson Edwards, and until I really dived in, I really was like, what, this kid can actually ball. And I was extremely mad, when we traded that 30th pick, because that's who I really wanted. I didn't want Kevin Porter Jr. I think he's overrated. But Carson Edwards, I really think that he would have been, a real good piece off that bench. Kid can shoot, and that's one thing we need. We need shooters, but most important, we need scorers. And I think he's a scorer. Gloria's daughter says Porter upsets me. Absolutely. Abdul Terrell says, LOL, as long as he's gone, never been a fan of his. Yeah. Would you draft Cassius Winston next year? Very possible. I do like that kid. I hate his college. Go blue all the way, but that kid can ball. 2K Play says Reggie Jackson for Luka. I wish. Daughter of Yah says Coach Casey didn't play Christian Wood much. Oh, and Thon isn't playing much better than last year. Yeah. Thon Maker could be on the chopping block in favor of Christian Wood. I love what I'm seeing from Christian Wood. I'm very high on him. And I know, Everything King is also very high on Christian Wood. What's going on, the Gridiron Blitz? Gloria Zar says Drummond is now going to waste shots on threes. He needs to just stay in the lane. He's good there. Yeah, I don't like him shooting from like the wing or straight on. I would rather have him, because them are further from the basket. If he's going to shoot threes, I want him to shoot the corner three, get better at that. Because if he could shoot that type of three, kind of like, Richard Hamilton. Richard Hamilton wasn't really known for a three-point shot. But he made enough to where you got to respect that shot. $2K plays, it's been confirmed by Woj. What's been confirmed by Woj? 2K plays? One Pride 40 says, why don't you like Kevin Porter Jr.? I mean, I'm just not a huge fan of his. He's more of a two guard, and I don't think he fits here. I still want to see Kyrie Thomas play. We haven't seen him this preseason. So I don't think he fits here. I'm not a huge fan of Kevin Porter Jr. I think he's overrated. But only time will tell. Gloria's daughter says, no, I'm mad at they didn't take him also. Oh, yeah, we did have the one hater that showed up, Gridiron Blitz. One Pride 40 says, okay. 2K Play says, I'm mad we didn't get Bobo. Yeah, but if we got Bobo, would we have gotten Christian Wood? I'm more hyped that we have Christian Wood. and trade for Miles Bridges. Cash is a beast and trade for Miles Bridges. Yeah, absolutely. One private 40. I would like Miles Bridges, but one thing about it is you got to deal with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan does not like the Pistons. Period. So I don't know if he'll make a deal with the Detroit Pistons. Um, Let me see. Gloria's daughter says Drummond needs to get inside and bull his way up. Absolutely. Gloria's daughter also says rest in peace. Hamilton was beautiful. My basketball crush. 2K Play says Woj confirm Reggie for Luca. LOL. I wish. Oh, absolutely. The Gridiron Blitz says y'all laughing at me. Nah, we not laughing at you, brother. Gloria's daughter says I didn't want Bobo. One Pride 40 says dang. But now that I'm all caught up with the chat, I want to take this time and what do you call it? Go over the field goal, the little stat lines and things like that. I will say this: we did take a lot more shots than the Dallas Mavericks, but we made a better percentage. The field goal percentage was won by the Detroit Pistons, 47% to 52%. Dallas shot 37 to 79. Pistons shot 46 of 89. We won the 3-point battle by 3%. Actually, that's promising. 37% on 13 of 35 was for the Dallas Mavericks, and 18 for 45 for the Detroit Pistons for 40%. We missed 6 free throws for 70%, so we were 14 of 20. Dallas Mavericks shot 79%, 30 for 38. So we definitely, that tells me that we need to watch out on fouling. They did foul us more, but it didn't cost us it didn't cost them points. So we gotta win that battle. Turnovers, like I said, it was 19 to 14. Dallas took care of the basketball. And one thing that really I love to see is this stat line right here: assists. 22 for the Dallas Mavericks, 31 for the Detroit Pistons. We were sharing the sugar. Rebound battles was won by the Detroit Pistons. Dallas had 32 and 5 offensive rebounds, and Detroit had 43 rebounds and 12 offensive rebounds. So I love that. We had more blocks, 3 to 5. Dallas had the 3 blocks. We had the 5 blocks. 23 personal fouls for the Dallas Mavericks. We had 21. We got to play smart as well. And once again, that's the second game in a row. 0 technical fouls for Dallas. 1 technical foul for the Detroit Pistons. Absolutely, Abdul Terrell. She was my favorite Pistons next to Isaiah Thomas. Absolutely. Actually, when I very first started basketball, I started off as number 5. And then I just kept watching Rasheed play. Sure enough, I switched my number to number 30. Sheed is definitely one of my favorite basketball players, and I did wear 5 because at that time, my coach wanted me to be more of a point guard, and I was like, the only thing you're going to see is assist and defense, and if you leave me wide open for 3, I'll drain the open shot. But my favorite was playing small forward. But let me catch up on the chat. Glorious Daughter says, "Speak for yourself. I'm laughing at you, Blitz." And then the Gridiron Blitz says, "I see you, GD." One Prime 40 says, "We need a Spartan on the roster on the Pistons or Lions." Why do you say that, One Prime 40? Are you a Spartan fan, brother? One Prime 40 also says, or Jaren Jackson. Oh man, don't get me started on Jaren Jackson here. That would be awesome. I think he's a good, solid young player that's gonna, be a very good player for years to come. Gloria's Daughter says, Sheed was awesome. I like them basketball roughnecks. Oh, absolutely. That's another thing I wanted to say too today. Is that's what I want to see, Blake Griffin do this season. Close to the basket, I don't think there's anybody that can stop him. And that in essential will open up the 3-point shot. People, gonna have him on the 3-point line thinking, oh, he's gonna pass, get down low, they're gonna give it back, they're gonna bully me, and he's gonna score on me. So, there'll be a little bit more lax defense, so it should open up the court a little bit better. So, like for Drummond, I want to see him take on like that Ben Wallace role. I mean, if he can stretch the field a little bit, that's a bonus. But, the hustle, the defense, the, putbacks, the little minute things that, Ben Wallace did for us, that's what I want to see, Andre Drummond do. And like I said, if he can stretch the field, that's even better. That'd be like Ben Wallace on steroids. How are you going to stop that? And then Blake Griffin could play the Rasheed Wallace. Go down low and destroy players. Destroy their confidence. Make them think twice. But like, hey, wait, I don't like this. I don't like getting owned like this. So I definitely want to see that. And then, everyone else play their role the right way. Team basketball, help defense, things like that. I think this team got enough firepower to make it to the second round and win games in the second round. I don't think they'll win the series in the second round with this squad right now. But, there's a lot of basketball to be played from now until then. Gloria's Daughter says, hold on, where am I? Gloria's Daughter says, Barkley, Wallace, all of them, LOL. The Gridiron Bliss says, my lips are sealed. I just wanted to let you know. Y'all are silly. 2K Play says, my number is always 11 for basketball and football. Oh, that's what's up. Okay, well, I guess they don't do like they did last year, so I'm going to just, what do you call it? Yeah, I'm going to definitely say they definitely need to do Pistons Live after the games. I do definitely miss that. But anyways, getting back on track. Gloria's Daughter says, I was a random bench Nowitzki. Had a good jumper, but dribbling was awful, so was used only to shoot and block. 2K Play says, Blake drop step is deadly. Absolutely. 1 Pride 40, if we get Jaren Jackson, you'll start watching the Pistons. All right. Well, hopefully we can get Jaren Jackson because I think you're going to love this team. Gloria's Daughter says, I thought Drummond was going to be our roughneck. He still very well could be. Remember one key thing. Drummond's in a contract year. And he's taking a business approach. So that means, he's going to ball out. I don't like paying players that just play for 1 year in that contract year, but he's valuable still. He's very, very valuable for us. Uh, he does the things that not a lot of our players could do. Uh, so I still have high hopes for Andre Drummond being our roughneck. One Pride 40 says, and trade for Kuz. Hey, I would love to have a Michigan native come back home. So I'm not gonna say nothing bad about bringing in Kyle Kuzma. I actually like him. But he's balling for them Lakers, and you already know that they gonna want a high ransom if we're gonna try to get him. One Pride 40 says, and yes, I am a Spartan fan. Okay, well, I guess on Saturdays we are rivals, but you're still a brother to me, so it's all good. I am Go Blue till the day I die. It's about the maize and blue. Gloria's daughter says Drummond is lazy up and down the court though. Um, you know, to that I want to say this. Okay, I think with Drummond, if we could get him the very first basket and get him engaged, if you stop and look at that 2014, Chauncey Billups did that for Ben Wallace. And everything was just clicking right after that with the entire team. It just turned on the intensity and, everybody was engaged. And that's the key to winning basketball games in today's league. Like, if all 5 guys that are on that court at one time are playing the right way, more than likely you're going to be winning a lot of basketball games. So I do. That's another thing I want to see. I want to see our point guards get Drummond the first basket, get him an easy basket, get him engaged, and I don't think you'll see a lazy Drummond this season if that happens. Abdul Terrell says Drummond doesn't get enough rebounds in traffic for his size and bulk. I could see that. But he does do, he gets, 2020, he's first in 2020s, 15-15s, like, that's important for us. That's like, imagine Ben Wallace if he would have, had 15-15 or 20-20. Like, you already knew, like, if Ben Wallace had a 20-20 game, that's a guaranteed win. Point blank, period. So we definitely got to get, guys around him. So, he can be able to play his game of basketball. I did see him in the offseason. He can actually shoot that 3. It's not translating right now, but like I said, it's preseason. This is the time to where if you're going to miss. I mean, obviously, got to be competitive and things like that. But, if you're going to make crazy shots and things like that, this is the time. Get yourself in a good rhythm. So, come October 23rd, when we open up the season, you're, in at least a rhythm. So... Gloria's daughter says, I imagine Blake as a Carson Wentz type, good in that role, but always broken, so it's not worth it. No, I don't. I think a lot of that though is you gotta be smart with Blake. Blake is an older player. Blake needs to be taken care of. But if he could trust his guys, and that was the one thing I seen today was who was it? Oh, it was Christian Wood. He got the offensive rebound. He got it at the top of the 3-point line, passed it to Blake, and Blake rewarded him because he made the right basketball move and went to the basket. He had a small little window. He passed it to him and rewarded the young man. So, if we have guys that can help Blake, I think the sky could be the limit with Blake. So I wouldn't put him in the Carson Wentz type of player just because, you can't run him down. Now, if you run him down, everybody's going to be a Carson Wentz then, or as of late, Aaron Rodgers. And shout out to the 2 thumbs down. I appreciate you. You still help me. So appreciate you. Abdul Terrell. Oh no, I already read that. One Pride 40 says, "Man, Drummond gets that Stafford level hate." Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I get it. One Pride 40 is because, he is a freak athlete, and not every game he's in it. Mentally, and us fans, we were spoiled with the bad boys and going to work Pistons. So, I mean, I can understand it, but people will understand it and learn to respect Drummond. Trust and believe. I have high faith in him this season. That this is going to be the season where he puts a lot of things together and show his worth. Now, that's not going to be fun for us because we're going to have to pay him or we're going to lose him. Gloria's daughter says, "I threw out a bunk bed because I can't do it, so no help there." You threw out a bunk bed? Wow. Abdul Terrell says, "Nope, haven't put a bunk bed together before." Gridiron Blitz says, "Did they win?" Yes, the Detroit Pistons won 124-117. Gloria's daughter says, "Blake had an early hustle pass that got me hyped today." Yeah, absolutely. Do you think the Grizzlies would trade Jaren Jackson? Yeah, if they want, they'll probably do it if they get, maybe 2 or 3 first-round picks. I think they value Jaren Jackson a very lot. And rightfully so. He's a phenomenal athlete. What's going on, 4G? Yeah, 722. He says, "Wave Reggie trash can now." I mean, for me, and like I was telling Abdul Terrell, 4G is, let's boost his trade value. And then come mid-season, trade him. And then we can, try to get as much as we possibly can in a trade. But I don't think Reggie Jackson will finish this season with the Detroit Pistons. I do think he will get traded at some point. Gloria's daughter says, "I like Drummond, but I'm sick of waiting for him to get his crap together." Yeah, I feel you. I definitely feel you on that. The Gridiron Blitz says, "The same 2 haters on mine." Yeah. I mean, hey, they helped us, brother. You already know that. So, we appreciate the 2 thumbs down. One Pride 40 says, "But Stafford always in it, so you're saying Drummond haters or Drummond hates deserved?" No, I mean, for Drummond and Stafford, there is no deserved hate, but I get it with people, because you got to remember one thing. Here in Detroit, we demand winners. We had the Detroit Red Wings. You had the World Series with the Tigers. You had, the 3 championships with the Pistons. And the Detroit Lions are yet to win a Super Bowl. Yes, we do have, 4 championship titles, but they're called the NFL titles, or the NFL championship, not the Super Bowl championship. So I get it with the Stafford haters. I don't condole it. I'm not a Stafford hater. I love Matthew Stafford. I think, you know, based on the history of our franchise, he is the greatest Detroit Lions to ever suit up at quarterback. Point blank, period. Um, with Drummond, you've had Ben Wallace, you've had guys like, the Worm, you had, Rick Mahorn, Bill Lambier, so we are kind of spoiled with centers. So we demand a lot. Uh, I don't condole hating on Andre Drummond, because I feel that we don't utilize him properly. Get him the first basket. Get him involved a little bit more. You throw him off in this no man land because, he can't, do different things. But then you expect, the world from him. Is like, okay, well, what do you want me to really do? And a lot of that had to deal with, I want to try to say this as rated G as possible, but pink poor coaching. You already know what the pink is referring to. Just take out ink. So I definitely will blame a lot of that to bad coaching. Now that we have Dwayne Casey, you see in Drummond do different things that we haven't really seen. You see a real plan in front of him to where, okay, hey, if I work on this, that, and the other, maybe now I could be able to be utilized better to where, maybe now I'll be able to, do different things that, hey, maybe last year you didn't even see. Gridiron Blitz says, I missed his comment about the bunk bed. Hold on one second. Let me scroll up about that. You said dang. I thought I said that. My bad, Grid. Let me see. 4G says you heard Frank Ragnow, the number one ranked center. Hey, I didn't hear that, but if he ain't, there's something wrong with the NFL. Because that boy is a baller. I love watching some Frank Ragnow on that offensive line. If we could get more Frank Ragnow type of players, man, that pass game and that run game will be lethal. But I did not hear that he was ranked number one, but I'm glad that you told me because that is awesome. I am stoked about that. Abdul Terrell says Gloria's daughter, Truth, number 9. Gotta respect Stafford. Tough is pure roughneck. Oh, absolutely. I mean, the guy's playing already with a broken back. And a bruised up hip and people still can't put respect on his name. Like, what more can he do? Gloria's daughter says, yeah, 4G, Glasgow first 2. Oh, that's awesome. A lot of people had doubts about Graham Glasgow. I said, hey, go blue. He's going to get it together. He's a better guard than a center. And truth be told, look at his stats. Ranked number 1 again. Just saying. Glasgow number 4. Hey, I mean, that's still top 5 in the NFL. Hey, I'll take that all day. Grid Blitz says, crying, laughing face. Never mind, I'll tell you later. Okay, my bad, Grid. It already is, says One Pride 40. Gloria's daughter says, I read Glasgow is top in something. One Pride 40 says, we need one of them Wisconsin or Iowa O-lineman guards. Oh, man. Absolutely. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. Please go get. I love Wisconsin. Iowa and and uh, who else? There's somebody else that has a phenomenal offensive line. Like it seems like year after year after year. Uh, but man, we definitely got to go get any one of them boys. Uh, especially with Coach Patricia, he'll do some great things. Gloria's daughter says Glasgow and Ragnar were ranked side by side at the top of the PFF. 4G says, is Patrick Peterson still on the block? I'm not too sure. After he got tested positive for PEDs, all talks were kind of almost seemed like it died. So I don't know. I mean, if he is, maybe we can see what they want. I wouldn't mind having Patrick Peterson on the Lions. One Pride 40 says in the Big Ten. I think so. It's Penn State usually has what do you call it? Or Notre Dame. Yeah, absolutely. Wisconsin plays like Escobar is threatening their families. Says Gloria's daughter. Absolutely. Abdul Terrell says Michigan. Yeah, I love our Michigan guys. The more the better. But as long as it's not Shea Patterson, please don't draft that man. 4G says, I heard the Jags won't trade Jalen Ramsey. I mean, everybody's on the trade block, even if you want Tom Brady. But you got to compensate. Right now, if you give the Jacksonville Jaguars 2 first-round draft picks, they're going to trade them. Even though if they flat out say, I'm not trading them. Everybody has a price tag. Gloria's daughter says Washington is holding tight on Williams too. Yeah, absolutely. And I don't understand. If you're going to hang on tight to him, then why ain't you paying him? One Pride 40 says, when I think of Notre Dame O-linemen, I think of Quentin Nelson and Zach Martin. Absolutely. Absolutely. One Pride 40 says, stop with the Williams talk, people. Gloria's daughter says Michigan players won't always translate to the NFL quick enough for my taste. Yeah, I mean, well, it depends on the player and how their development. I mean, if they're, doing, playing the right way and they're available, oh yeah, absolutely, I'm going to go get them. Like this past draft, I wanted Chase Winovich. I didn't want Devin Bush or none of them other clowns. I wanted, Chase Winovich. Who picked him up? The New England Patriots. Because they always seem to pick up the players I want. I was shocked that we got Kerryon Johnson. I said, if we don't get him, I already know who's going to get him. Abdul Terrell says, okay, ladies and gents, sleep for me, have fun. All right, brother. You have a blessed night, and we'll see you tomorrow for Pistons Weekly. 4G says, I knew we was going to regret not drafting Delvin Cook. Yeah, but, hey, since he's in our division, what do you think we've been trying to do? Stop the run. Guys like Delvin Cook, we got to stop them. We had to do that against Matt Forte. We had to do that against, Jordan Howard and guys like that. Adrian Peterson. So I said, we gotta stop that run. We stop that run. We make teams one dimensional. I love our chances one dimensionally. Gloria's artist says his name alone screamed Detroit. Oh yeah, absolutely. I needed Kerryon, says Gloria's daughter. Yeah. And I love how a Pistons live stream turned into Detroit Lions talk. You guys are epic. I love you guys. I will say this. Getting back on the Pistons real fast. Luke Kennard and Derrick Rose. They played for about 50 minutes combined, and they had 37 points combined, 6 rebounds combined, and 7 assists combined. Luke Kennard had a steal and 2 turnovers. Derrick Rose had a turnover and 4 fouls. But that's off our bench. Like, do you understand that our bench is going to be lethal just as well as our offense? Or like our starting unit? You know, then you sprinkle in guys like Svi and we did see a Kyrie Thomas actually today. He played 2 minutes and had 3 points. So shout out to Kyrie Thomas. You know, sprinkle in a Sekou, sprinkle in you know, other guys off the bench and things like that. So definitely love seeing Luke Kennard and Derrick Rose and Markieff Morris. You know, I think he's one of the most underrated signings as well as Christian Wood. So you know, maybe Thon Maker is on the trading block. You know, Thon Maker, Reggie Jackson. You know, maybe sprinkle in a Tony Snell to get something, you know, real good in return. You know, we don't know what's going to happen by the trade deadline, but you know, 4G says Maker looked good though. Thon Maker had 15 minutes. He had 5 points, 2 rebounds, an assist. He shot 2 for 3, so I am happy about that. He did miss his 3-point shot. He made his free throw. He had a block and a steal. You know, the thing about Thon Maker that gets my gears grinding is he doesn't play consistent. You know, I don't care if you're the best player or the worst player. Play consistently. You know, and always build upon that game after game after game. Like, when he first got here, his very first game as a Detroit Piston, he almost was the second coming of Jesus. You know, he was blocking shots, he was shooting threes and making it, he was getting hustle points, he was doing everything. And all of a sudden, he's like nowhere to be found. You know, and then got soft and stuff like that. Like, that's one thing that you know, bothers me about Thon. 4G says Reggie consistently trash. Absolutely. But I will say this is preseason, so if he can show what he did in the second half of the last year and into the playoffs, I can keep him for a half a season. You know, so he'll be able to bounce back and really, what do you call it? You know, give us some good trade value. Data Boy says, "What up, man? What's going on, Data Boy?" One Pride 40 says, "Stop Gloria. He's a bona fide scrub. Do like Winovich though." Gloria's daughter says, "Chili peppers." But you know, I do want to see a little bit more Svi. But I don't know what happened to Svi's shot. I don't know if I was just, you know, spoiled from last year's preseason. You know, last year's preseason he was going toe to toe with Klay Thompson for 30 points. Here he only scores well, he didn't score today. He took a shot, which was a three, and missed it. But he did get a steal, and that was a big time steal. Uh, so I need to see a little bit more from Svi. Uh, you know, yeah, Svi's first preseason game was real nice. He was going toe to toe with Klay Thompson. I was like, man, oh man. And I didn't even know who Svi was even after that until we got him in a trade. I'm like, who the heck is this guy? Like, what are we doing giving up our best shooter for some guy I don't even know? And then when I did the research and the very first game film popped up was preseason against it was Lakers versus Golden State Warriors, and Svi Mykhailiuk was going toe to toe with Klay Thompson. I'm like, oh, that's who we got? Okay, let's go. Then his first game as a Piston, he got forced to play due to nobody on the team. He scored 20 points or something like that. It was I think it was 20 points. Hold on one second. Let me verify that. I know it was something crazy, and I was like, okay, boy can play. Oops, SVI. Yes, okay. Not that. Okay, where will it come out as his career high? Okay, I cannot find it, which is kind of frustrating. Okay, I cannot find his career high as a Detroit Piston. Game logs right here. This would probably tell me. Where is Detroit? Okay, right here. It was against the Knicks. I lost track. Okay. He only had 3 points. That ain't right. Okay, they said he only had 3 points that game. I thought he had more. Because he played almost 10 minutes. Okay, so I guess he only had 3 points, which I thought he had way more than that. But I guess unless the internet's telling me false news. But One Pride 40 says I wanted Josh Allen. Gridiron Blitz says punch. Gridiron Blitz says long story, y'all. One Pride 40 says, but Hawk was my second choice. See, Hawkinson, it was, for me, this year, it was Hawkinson or nobody else. We needed TJ Hawkinson. Now, if he would have been picked up, I wanted also Josh Allen. But It was Hawkinson, number one on my list, underlined 3 times, and highlighted as well. What's going on, Chris? Appreciate you stopping in. 4G says D Rose basketball IQ is so much higher than Reggie Jackson. LOL. Even we realize Luke is a free assist. Yeah, I like Derrick Rose's basketball IQ. You know, the only thing is with Derrick Rose, it's just like Blake Griffin. You gotta watch their minutes and how many games they're playing and different things like that. That's why I'm always for shortening up the NBA season. I think if we play about 62, 63 games, even 65 games, I think then we would definitely see better quality. A lot less guys resting. So that is something that Adam Silver definitely needs to address. One Pride 40 says Dakota Prescott is the greatest quarterback to ever live, with crying, laughing faces. Obviously, I know that is a joke. Because I seen a picture, man. I wish you were on One Pride 40. You got to get a Twitter, man. Because I want to send you this picture that I literally about died. Man, oh man, that was a hilarious picture. It is the Dallas Cowboys actually picking up Dak Prescott and throwing him into the trash can. I was like, yes, the internet won, the Dallas Cowgirls 0. The Gridiron Bliss says, I was about to put you in to 40. Gloria's Daughter says, I had Hawk on offense and Sweat on defense. What? What? Oh no. Chris Cashball says, have they allowed defense back in the NBA yet? Actually, we've seen a lot of good blocks. Let's see. Markieff Morris had a block. Thon Maker had a block. Drummond had 3 blocks. And Christian Wood took a charge. I literally about died because I was like, oh my gosh, that is what we need. You know, if you stop and think about it, what did the Detroit Pistons in 2004 do great on? Picking up the charges. You know, Ben Wallace, you got him anywhere near that paint, it was a charge. You know, and I seen him take a charge tonight, talking about Christian Wood, on former Detroit Piston Boban Marjanovic. That is a big boy, and he took it like a champ. So, Chris, I hope that answers your question on did they allow defense back in the NBA. Run Pride 40 says, oh, come on, Grid, I'm just playing. Glorious Daughter says, no, Chris. 4G says Dakota Prescott. No, that's actually his middle name, is Dakota. His first name is Rain. Dakota. His abbreviated name is Dak, for Dakota. And his last name, obviously, Prescott. So it's literally Dakota Prescott. Or if you want to say his full name, it's Rain Dakota Prescott. How does he have 2 female names and plays for the Cowgirls? Dak is basically a meme now. Absolutely, says One Pride 40. 4G says Ebron dropping passes in Indy. Oh, man. Hey, he's already sick of Indianapolis Colts fans because of him dropping passes. Because they finally realized, oh, he got to a Pro Bowl and he was still leading the league in drop passes. That's how you know there's a what do you call it? A conspiracy against the Detroit Lions. Gloria's daughter says, "Cause defense is bad." Okay. Gloria's daughter also says, "I'm loving that the Indy honeymoon is over for Ebron." Absolutely. Uh, what's going on, the Bruiser? He says, "Pistons are trash. Pacers own us." Hey, hopefully, what do you call it? Hopefully, this year we come out and put that pressure on them, because I think we got enough firepower to play against any one of our division rivals. Yes, including the Milwaukee Bucks. 4G says, "Yo, your grandma trash." Man, you had to go to the grandma. One Pride 40 says, "Yep, it's Stafford's fault that he didn't succeed in Detroit. Ebron always been a meme." Absolutely. The Gridiron Blitz says Eminem GD. 4G says Pacers been dookie since Reggie Miller. Yeah, well, I mean they have been. I ain't going what do you call it? But they got a squad. The Indianapolis or the Pacers got a squad. The only thing that really hurt them was the loss of Oladipo, and now that Oladipo's back healthy, they can make some noise. I still have them as the third best team. Obviously, I'm going to be a little biased and say the Detroit Pistons are second in the division. I still think the Milwaukee Bucks will win the Central. It's not our time yet, but with off seasons the way we've been having the last two, especially this last off season, I definitely think we're on the right track. I'm absolutely loving Ed Stefanski as our general manager and team president. He's done his research. Truth Teller, what's going on? He says, "What's up? How's it going, brother?" The Bruiser says, "Detroit bad boys, baby." Absolutely. It's always Detroit basketball. Yes, sir. One Pride 40 says, "We need some luck on his side to catch." What? He needs some luck on his side to catches ta. I'm not too sure what that meant, One Pride 40. Glorious Daughter says, "Wow, Bruiser." 4G says, "Brogdon got a S curl. They team doom." Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. Why do you get the... Does he really have the Jerry curls? Hey, you already know I gotta research that tonight. Because if that is true, that might be my new Twitter picture. Oh, man. One Pride 40 says, "I don't." One Pride 40 says, "Bob Quinn is better than Stefanski." I can't argue that, but I would say I would put a greater than or equal to Stefanski. Obviously, I put Bob Quinn first and foremost. I'm a Lions fan first and foremost, a Pistons fan second, third is a Red Wing, and then fourth is a Tiger. That's how I rate my my Detroit teams as far as me being a fan of. Uh, the Bruiser says Valenti was fired up about Goris being drunk at the first preseason game. When isn't Tom Goris drunk? That should be the that'd be like uh what done happened type of moment. Oh, you're talking about dun type of thing. uh 4G says Pistons fan number one. That's what's up, 4G. I mean, like for me, it's like 1A, 1B. Uh, and then it's what do you call it? The Red Wings and then the Tigers. Uh, I can imagine CB40 with S curls. Says Gloria's daughter. One Pride 40 says best GMs in Detroit: Yzerman, Bob Quinn, and Stefanski. Al Avila shouldn't even be on this list. I fired Al Avila a long time ago. He's a certified scrub, and he needs to hit the road, Jack. Truth Teller says, cool, bro. I'd be more excited if Kennard would start in not understanding why, though. Absolutely. That's been, boggling my mind on why isn't Luke Kennard, starting. He earned it in the playoffs. The biggest stage of a player's career is obviously the playoffs, and the grandest stage is obviously the NBA Finals. So on the biggest stage, he proved he's a starting material type of player. But maybe it is because we need, a balanced offensive and defense on both the first and second unit. So maybe it's Dwayne Casey's thought of, okay, well, hey, to balance the offense, we could put Luke Kennard on the second unit. Maybe it is that, but it's still boggling to me because Luke Kennard deserves to be starting. 4G says Valenti is a burger. Absolutely. He's like the Browns, taking the Browns to the Super Bowl. And not in the actual Super Bowl. I'm talking about the toilet bowl. That's Mike Valenti in a nutshell. Gloria's daughter says me, Pistons 1, Lions 2, hockey confuses me, and Tigers exist. Yeah, the Tigers exist. We do own the number 1 overall pick. We have the absolute worst record in Major League Baseball. So yeah, the Tigers do exist, but they shouldn't. I want Bob Quinn to hear the cheesiest Boston Celtics hat to a press conference, then say Charlene in a Boston accent. 4G says Bruce Brown is elite defender. He made Harden go 0 for 15. One Pride 40 says, I like how you said Tigers exist, Gloria. I know, I thought that was the funniest part. I was like, oh man. 4G says Kennard is nice. One Pride 40 says I'm wheezing. I hope you're okay, One Pride. 4G says Luke was our best player in the playoffs. Absolutely. Hashtag truth. Gloria's daughter says thank you, 40. DeBruiser says Kennard needs to start, period. Let the man shine. Absolutely. The Bruiser says it's a shame we stuffed that kind of talent on our bench with the starting lineup we have. One Pride 40 says Avila equals Millen. Absolutely. Truth Teller says yes, 19 points on 70% from 3-point in the playoffs. Absolutely. Chris says bring back Larry Brown. Absolutely. I love Larry Brown. One Pride 40 says Trubisky or Dakota. Who you talking? I'm talking that's a toilet bowl for of all ages. If I had to pick one, I'm taking the first train out of town. 4G says our coach is good enough. Yeah, I like Coach Casey. Between Dak and Trubisky, I'm picking basketball. Absolutely, Gloria's daughter. DeBruce says I turned down Tigers tickets when they were offered. I haven't done a game in 5 years. Wow. I have not ever been to Comerica Park. The only Tigers game I went to was at Tiger Stadium. I do want to go to Comerica Park, but I need to see at least a vision. I don't see a vision with Al Avila as our general manager. So Chris says Comerica Park sucks. Wow, that says a lot coming from you, because I know you tell the truth and not like it is and not like it was. Like you keep things 100. So hearing that, okay, I can definitely respect that, Chris. One Pride 40 says between the two, I'm talking Matt Patricia as my quarterback. Oh, absolutely. Did you see that challenge flag throw last year? Just saying. I would go to the Tigers game when I needed to catch up on work. Bring back Tiger Stadium 100. Absolutely. I do miss that stadium. 4G says Saquon Barkley or Prime LaDainian Tomlinson. Ooh, that is a great question. I love LT, but give me Saquon. I love LT, but give me Saquon. Because I see stuff from Saquon, I'm like, wait, you ain't supposed to be doing stuff like that. But that's a great question. 4G, coming tomorrow's stream, I'm doing Detroit Lions weekly podcast. Gridiron Blitz will be on the show. Ask that question because I know he is also a big time LaDainian Tomlinson fan. So I think that'd be a good little segment talk. So definitely come back tomorrow, 4G, and ask that same exact question, please. DeBruce says Tigers talent develop, aka farm system, is among the worst. Absolutely. 4G says I'm gonna take LT. Gloria's daughter says I used to go to Tiger Stadium with my dad. That's what's up. That's actually who took me to my first Tigers game was my pops. One Pride 40 says Carry On or Aaron Jones. That's a no-brainer. Give me Carry On all day. Gloria's daughter says Tomlinson. DeBruiser says give me a prime Marshawn Lynch or anyone. That fool put the team on his back. Yeah, I could see that. Oh man, when he was with the Seattle Seahawks, man, that was a thing of beauty. Chris says two of the biggest screw ups Detroit sports team made. Number one, making the football games indoors, and 2, Comerica Park. Yeah, that was one thing I didn't understand about here in Detroit is, especially in our division, we play the Minnesota Vikings, or as I call them, the Minnesota Vikings. It's very cold there. They get really bad winters. So you'd want to, be versatile to, play out in that type of weather. You play in the frozen tundra in Green Bay, Wisconsin against the Cheese Whizzes. You would want to, practice out in the cold as well to, be battle tested against teams like that. And then you play the Chicago Bears, or as I call them, the Chicago Cubs. They also play in cold weather, the Windy City. You would want to be able to, make sure that your kicking is good. Your players are able to, be able to withstand the elements. So definitely that is a confusing thing for me as well. 4G says I call them the Minnesota Dyke Queens. Absolutely. 4G, that is even better than the Minnesota Dyke Queens. I might actually have to use that one, the Dyke Queens. One Pride 40 says Skip Bayless or Dakota Prescott or Baker Mayfield as your quarterback. Give me the trash can. My trash can be my quarterback. 4G says I'm gonna take Skip. Gloria's daughter says I'll pick Mayfield and bench him for toots and giggles. That's hilarious. Oh, yeah, you can get that one, Gloria. So I want to ask you guys a quick question. For those of you guys that watched the Pistons and the Mavericks game, what was things that stood out to you guys? Leave it in the comments so I can read them and get your guys' thoughts on it. One Pride 40 says, "Dang, y'all are savages." Gloria's daughter says, "Let him run his mouth while handing out Gatorade." Chris says, "Baker's making the throws is just his coach's play selection sucks, and his receivers drop a ton of balls." Yeah, absolutely. But if that's happening, you can't be cocky. And I understand, it's your quote unquote swag and persona, but there comes a time you definitely do got to be humble as well. One Pride 40 says Skip. DeBruiser says Mayfield just looks like a prime Joey Harrington. Ooh, that's that's hilarious. Fully agree, but man, that's mean. 4G says D Rose, of course. Oh, absolutely, man. If he's coming off our bench, man, come on now. I'm loving Derrick Rose. I'm loving Christian Wood and Luke Kennard. And, and then you got your two bigs. And, I definitely want to see Reggie Jackson boost up his trade value, though. And really put together something to where this team can grow for years to come and be able to, really take the next step and really compete in the Eastern Conference. DeBruiser says Mayfield rolls right, defense loads that side defense annihilates Mayfield, hence taunts the Baker. Chris says, nah, I want a cocky quarterback 100. Okay. Okay. Hey, opinions are always welcomed here. So, okay. I'm more of a, like a Stafford type guy. Uh, he's quiet, he does his job, and carries the team on his back. Uh, so I mean, I would rather have Stafford over a lot of these quarterbacks. Uh, 4G says, anybody else notice they stopped passing Regina the ball? Hey, 4G. You definitely get a round of applause for that one, brother. I did notice that they stopped passing Reggie the ball, but Regina, yeah, you can get that one, brother. Chris says Stafford this year is cocky. Watch what gonna do. All right, hey. I mean, I don't think he's cocky. Because obviously he's been humbled being here in Detroit. But it's his time to shine. So I definitely, hey, I guess it's me being a homer because I love Matthew Stafford. So anything he does, hey, he's a great quarterback. Uh, I still have him as a top 5 quarterback. I know a lot of people are gonna put a lot of heat on me for that, but I think he's the top 5 quarterback on the active NFL rosters. Obviously you still got to put Tom Brady and Drew Brees. I got Stafford at 3, and and then comes Deshaun Watson and oh my gosh, I just went blank. Brady, Brees, Stafford, Watson, and Wilson. Them are my top 5 quarterbacks, but a lot of people are going to disagree. But that's what sports is. We agree to disagree, agree to agree, and disagree to disagree, I guess. Uh, but 4G says Mayfield is Charlie Batch reincarnated. Yeah, I could see that as well. Mayfield, Mitch Trubisky, or Joe Mama as your quarterback. Give me Joe Mama. uh, I'm gonna. What is that? Okay. Okay. Hold on. Bruce says, I like the lineup, but you will be lucky to get more than 50 games out of D Rose. Um, I think I'm going to take the over. I'm going to say we'll get about anywhere between 65 and 75. I think we're going to get between that out of D Rose, but it also depends on the minutes. And I think that's another reason why he's a second unit player right now. Maybe near the playoffs, he'll play a little bit more. But the kid wants to play and wants to win. So definitely, I'm going to take the over on 50 games to Bruiser. Chris says that dude got it right 100. Went and looked at the game stats for prior to that game, and it totally made sense for what's going on there. Okay, Chris, I'm going to definitely check that out as well. Derrick Rose got so many injuries they gave him a life alert. I think he's actually healthy now. But minutes restriction is gonna be key to him, and you know, I think he's gonna be a key asset to our team. Uh, Gloria says I will listen to more later. 4G says Pat Stafford top 5 quarterback for show. Uh, I don't think he's a Pat statter, but you know, not everybody agrees with me, so it's all good. Where are we at? Okay, Chris says if you ain't a fan of that dude, check out his channel out. His takes are based off being in the league for 10 years. Oh wow. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely check him out as well, Chris. I got Stafford in my top 4. Yeah, I mean I got him in my top 3, so I mean he's my number 3 quarterback in this league. Uh, I got Stafford as a top 15 quarterback. Wow, top 15. DeBruiser, really? We're going to definitely have the phone lines open for that one. Definitely call in tomorrow, DeBruiser, all right? Because I definitely want to talk about that one. 4G says Tim Tebow was a good quarterback. I don't know why he ain't in the league. I said the same thing, 4G. The year that the Denver Broncos went to the playoffs, the Denver Broncos shouldn't have made the playoffs. But Tim Tebow carried that entire organization to the playoffs that year. And then all of a sudden, John Fox came in and boom, bada boom, everybody was in the toilet bowl. Chris says his contract is team friendly as all gel for the next 3 years as well. Bob's gonna stock so much talent. Oh, absolutely. Uh, 4G says Arnie Canner revived careers. T-Mac, Antonio McDyess. Oh, absolutely. That's why I'm taking the over on that 50 game that DeBruiser said is because of Arnie Canner. Arnie Canner is the greatest thing since sliced bread. D Rose is going to be healthy. Absolutely, 4G. Chris says Tebow was a gimmick that worked for college football. If you remember correctly, even during his big year, there was another quarterback that did most of the dirty work. DeBruiser healthy in D Rose terms. That's promising. Chris says that dude link I posted, he was a backup for a couple years in the Lions as well. Oh, wow. That's what's up, Chris. That special team, the run game, and defense got them to the playoffs. 4G, I heard nobody liked Tebow because he believed in God. Yeah, a lot of, he was quote unquote kneeling, and and things like that, and he's out the league. DeBruiser says Bob Quinn has done a 9 out of 10 job for us. Doesn't get much better. Culture change, personnel, and draft picks are always on point. Absolutely, DeBruiser. Chris says no one liked Tebow because he was a stare-down passer who didn't have a good arm and couldn't throw a touch pass. For God's sake. Yeah, I mean, he did have some flaws. But, I mean, he still got kind of blackballed by the sheer fact that, he did help take that team that wasn't supposed to go to the playoffs. I don't know if it was because of the whole believe in God or kneeling or what it was, but I feel like he should have at least been a backup somewhere. Um, to at very least, uh, nobody liked Tebow because he wore puka shell necklace. 4G says or Tim Tebow might not have been a natural quarterback, but he's a winner, and he proved it in that signature jump pass translated to the NFL from college. Yeah, absolutely. I see a lot of NFL players, at quarterback doing that jump pass, including in the playoffs. In today's NFL, he's not good, but like a 50s or 60 NFL, he'd be fine. DeBruiser says Tim Tebow will make a good get me back coach. Alrighty. How long have we been on? We've been on for an hour and 30 minutes, and probably talked half basketball and half football. I definitely have the greatest following on in all of YouTube. uh, but this is what do you call it? Business Center Court's gonna be about. We're gonna be about the subscribers. We're gonna be about the game. We're gonna be about a lot of good things. So I definitely am enjoying bringing back Pistons Center Court. And I will definitely be bringing in some new things to Pistons Center Court. So definitely, you don't ever want to miss Pistons Center Court or any of the Sports Movement Network shows. So, I am going to say I will be wrapping this up shortly. Probably in about another 20 minutes or so. Just because, I'm going to have to get up and get ready for work. Go to bed for work, I should say. But I could read some more comments. 4G says, you wasn't born in the 50s. How DF, DeBruiser says, Stafford top 15 to me till he get me that playoff W. Sorry. Yeah, but who's the 14 other players that is better than Stafford? I mean, that's the crazy part. I mean, even though without the playoff wins, who's a better quarterback? I'm talking about overall quarterback. Not on teams, not on this, that, the other. I'm talking about pure position, quarterback. Who's 14 better quarterbacks than Matthew Stafford? Chris says, I was in the 60s and they played all the reruns back in the day on Thursday nights. Chris has a 3-strong old school rabbit ear buddy. Yeah, hey, I will say this. Don't mess with Chris, man. Chris got the knowledge of the game. Oh, man. Oh. But, I appreciate you guys all, though, man. I got 7 people watching and 12 thumbs up and, 13 thumbs up and, 2 thumbs down. I appreciate you guys, man. 14 thumbs up. Oh, man. You guys are awesome. Oh, wow. Hey, shout out to the new subscriber. I see 410. 313 Hitman says, what up, Trox? What's going on, 313 Hitman? Hey, man. I've been wanting to do this for a minute. Hold on one quick second. All right, 313 Hitman, say something else. One Pride 40 says, what more scarier than Packer defense? My mom. Chris says Packers defense a myth. Absolutely. Hey, I say this, okay? And I'm going to speak real. The Packers defense is a the reason why they're so good is because they haven't really played against a good offense. You know, hey, 313 Hitman, you see something new? I saw the game tonight and I was dead wrong about D Rose. I got a crow to to I got a crow to everything king about him. Hey, I'm gonna tell you this, man. Well, on Monday, I said somebody asked me. I'm sorry if I forgot your name. They asked me. They were like, Christian Wood, is he gonna make the team? I said, it's going to depend on how he performs in the preseason. Why was he the best player on the team? I mean, yeah, we lost, but on Monday, but he was the best player on the Pistons squad. I said, oh, yep, he's making the team. And sure enough, hey, he followed it up with another solid performance today. DeBruiser says my list: Rodgers, Breeze, Brady, Rivers, Wentz, Mahomes, Garoppolo, Prescott, Carr, Roethlisberger. Not in that order, but all these are better. I'll give you Mahomes. I can't give you the rest though. I will say this: if Garoppolo could stay healthy for a full season, he could be on that. But I still would have Garoppolo maybe just behind Matthew Stafford. But Prescott is trash, hot trash. In fact, he's the definition of trash. So if you go in your Webster's dictionary, Google Dak or Rain Dakota Prescott, you will see a waste paper basket. And say Dak Prescott is here. That's what you see for Prescott. Carr, I won't give it to him because I gotta see more. Ben Roethlisberger, I could give it to you if you're talking about prime Ben Roethlisberger, where he's throwing people off his back, breaking tackles and chucking it down 30, 40 yards and completing the pass. Like, that man was amazing back in his prime days. 313 Hitman says Christian Wood should make the team. He's balling now. Oh, absolutely. Hitman, I said after the game on Monday in my little quick post game, before it came to me to bring back Pistons Center Court, I said, oh, Christian Wood just said, I'm making this team by all means necessary. And sure enough, he what do you call it? He followed it up with a solid performance today. One Pride 40 said, you said Wilson, then sure. I mean, well, like I said, I didn't count Jimmy Garoppolo because he hasn't proved to me he can stay healthy. So obviously I'm going to put Russell Wilson there, a guy who's healthy. I don't think he's really missed any games. He's another one of them Iron Man guys that actually is a mobile quarterback that's an Iron Man, which is very, very shocking. Because usually mobile quarterbacks don't last long in the NFL. And Russell Wilson has played at a high level for a real long time. So that's why I do have Russell Wilson at number 5. Uh, but my top 10, yeah, I got Garoppolo. I got, uh, well, no, okay. So 4 would have to be, okay, hold on. You got Brady and Breeze. Then you got Matthew Stafford. Then I'm gonna put uh, uh, oh my goodness, uh, Patrick Mahomes. And then I'm gonna put uh, uh, Russell Wilson. And then at 6, I'll put what do you call it? Garoppolo. 7 would have to be, who would 7 be? Um, I'm not 100% sure who I would have at 7. I mean, I can't put Philip Rivers in the top 10 unless at 10. Uh, I think his best years are behind him. Now, career wise, yeah, I would put Rivers in there. I'll put uh, uh, oh, 7 is Matt Ryan. Yes, Matt Ryan, Matty Ice. Uh, he actually has I think like 41,000 yards already. Uh, you know, but 313 Hitman says, "I'm with you, DeBruiser. He got to do it this year, man." Uh, DeBruiser says, "Don't get me wrong. I love Stafford, but get me deep in the playoffs, then you prove something." I mean, I fully agree, but I'm talking about just the position alone. Like, forget the entire team. Forget the offensive line. Forget the running backs, tight ends, wide receivers, and things like that. I'm talking about like traits of a quarterback. Who has better traits of a quarterback than Matthew Stafford? That's what I'm trying to say about, now team quarterbacking. Yeah, obviously, you definitely got to perform in the playoffs. But to get to the playoffs, you have to Dak has won 2 playoff games. 313 Hitman, no, Dak did not win 2 playoff games. Ezekiel Elliott won 2 playoff games. You feed your running back, you're gonna win a whole lot of games. Uh, you know, and shout out to Luke G for bringing this the saying that the great Vince Lombardi said, and I fully agree with it. In order to win, you have to run the football, and great teams run the football. Now, Ezekiel Elliott ran the football in those Dallas wins. Therefore, the Dallas Cowboys won the football games. Zeke is Dak's lifeline. Absolutely won Pride 40. I could name numerous occasions that, when the ball was in Dak Prescott's hands to win games, they lost. Because Dak is not a quarterback. When you need a big play that requires being an actual quarterback, Dak Prescott will 110% fail you. And it even showed against the Green Bay Packers, in America's Game of the Week this past weekend. They failed to give Ezekiel Elliott the football, and what happened to the Dallas Cowboys? They lost. That's the only reason why I say Dak will never be in, not even in my top 30. He ain't even a top 30 quarterback. Hey, and that's hashtag truth. Dak Prescott is not a top 30 quarterback. He's in the 31, 32 worst in the league quarterbacks. I think I would rather have Mitchell Trubisky than Dak Prescott. And that says a lot because I can't stand, And I would put Mitchell Trubisky at 29 just because of that. 3 with 3 Hitman said, Dak did look bad last week. Hey, that ain't no lie. One Pride 40 says, Flacco had Ray Rice, Anquan Bolden, Dennis Pitta, and the best defense in the league. That quarterback whiz crap is irrelevant. I'm tired of this argument. Yeah, but when the Falcons won, they were running the ball. When they needed to move the chains, they moved the chains, and then their defense took care of the rest. That's why I always say, you don't necessarily need the greatest quarterback of all time. You just got to have a competent enough quarterback to not mess up a game. And I'm going to bring you to my reason. After I say this, a quarterback to not mess up the game, you got to have a good run game, able to move the chains off to get the first down, to kill more clock, and your defense need to do its job by, holding teams down. And the reason why I say that is the 2000 Baltimore Ravens. The defense held teams down. They had a run game. And when they had to pass the ball, they moved the chains to kill more clock, and the quarterback did not screw it up. And Dak will screw it up if you need to get that first down, and it's a passing play. I think they got to get a different quarterback. But, hey, they can keep Dak because that helps us in a dub. DeBruce says, no, I would rather call Stafford for what he is. Chris says, Dak over Trubisky all day. Dak can at least read a defense a little bit. Okay, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one, Chris. Because Trubisky can't read a defense if his life depended on it. DeBruiser said, talented as Rodgers with the decision making of Ryan Tannehill, Stafford. One Pride 40 says, fine, have your opinion, don't bring it up. Hitman says, the Ford did a terrible job surrounding Stafford by not giving him an all-pro O-line his rookie year. Absolutely. And, really, the Fords never gave him a decent offensive line in any year. I'm not even asking for an all-pro. I just want an offensive line that could do its darn job. They don't do nothing. And, that's one of the things that ticks me off, the quick, fast, and in a hurry. Is, how are you not going to protect your franchise guy? And if Matthew Stafford had an all-pro offensive line, I'm talking Super Bowl dynasties. Like, every year you're going to say, oh, why are we going to even play? You already know the Detroit Lions going to sweep the season. They're going to be 19-0 every year. You know, because the offensive line blocks for Matthew Stafford to make the throws. The offensive line would block to open up run lanes to run the ball, and you surround it with a defense to hold teams down. Who can stop you? You got a run game, pass game, and defense. And if your special teams can score touchdowns, hey, that's an added bonus. In the NFL, it takes a whole team. Absolutely. But your quarterback is what your offensive line is. Just like your linebackers. Your linebackers are what your defensive line is. You got to remember one thing. First line of defense on any side of the ball is your lines. Your offense, your defensive lines. Your middle linebacker is like your quarterback. So I'm going to treat it as such, okay? Your middle linebacker will not be a Ray Lewis type of guy if he does not have the defensive front ahead of him. And I'm going to say this. Okay. I want to say it was in his Hall of Fame speech or is in one of his motivational speech. Okay. Ray Lewis, Hall of Fame player, says, I would not be Ray Lewis, Hall of Fame player, if it was not for them 4 guys or 3 guys in front of me. Meaning, if it wasn't for his defensive line, he would not be able to do what he does best. And it's 100% true. If you really stop and think about it, your defensive line helps your middle linebacker. When your middle linebacker has that help, he's going to be able to get guys in the right positions. And your linebacking core helps your secondary. Now, when your secondary is playing at a high level because your linebacking core is playing at a high level because your defensive front is doing their job and playing at a high level, you have an overall great defense. But it all stems from one key thing, your defensive line. I played outside linebacker and corner. So I knew, hey, if I messed up on my side, that corner is going to struggle because now he has to compensate for my flaws, and that side's going to get cooked. So that's why I always say it starts, with the trenches. And if you look at what Bob Quinn has done since day one, he built that defensive line. He's built that offensive line. Now he started to stem out. Get the linebacking core. Get the secondary. Get your wide receivers, your running back, your tight ends. Now you're starting to build around the team. But it starts with the offensive line and the defensive line. One Pride 40 says, I was a 5'11 defensive line. Does that count? Hey, did you at least do your job? And did you play at a high level? Because truth be told, I was a 5'11 corner and outside linebacker. He chop blocked, says the Bruiser. By next year's draft and free agency, we gonna be more than set. Oh, absolutely, Chris. Absolutely. And that's where I say the Detroit Lions are primed, well-oiled, and starving. It's time to feast. So absolutely. But I will say this. I have been on for 2 hours, so I am definitely going to be wrapping up this shortly. One Pride 40 says, well, heck, we already are this year. DeBruce says, Lions are heading up for sure. Oh, absolutely. The one thing I love about this team, and Chris, I think you're the one that also said it on the Gridiron Blitz's comment section. 1 minute we have a flaw. By that very next week, that flaw is gone. And I think I commented on that, Chris, with that's what makes our defense or our team such a chameleon. We adapt. We are able to to figure the issue out quickly and adapt to it, and be able to correct it and go out and play a better game. But with that being said, I do appreciate you guys rocking with me for the very first episode on the Sports Movement Network, Pistons Center Court / Post Game. You guys are amazing. Chris said I had us doing our push next year, but how this team is responding to Patricia this year, I had to change my mind on it. Oh, absolutely. Technically, whoever makes it out the NFC is going to win the title. If what's been going on since 2012 holds true. And that is, Bill Belichick and Nick Saban have alternated titles. So with the New England Patriots as defending champs, they're supposed to lose this year, and Alabama is supposed to win the national title. If Alabama wins this national title, I'm going to bet everything I own on whoever's on that NFC team to come out as world champs. So if the Detroit Lions make it to the Super Bowl this year and Alabama won, I'm calling it a Detroit Lions Super Bowl win. That's just because of of what's been going on since 2012. Now, hey, I ain't gonna put it past the NFL because it is the Detroit Lions. If the Detroit Lions are in and Alabama wins, they might even just say, "Oh, here's another gate," and still give it to the New England Patriots. But I will say this: our time is very, very close. And definitely, we're going to talk about this again tomorrow on Detroit Lions Weekly. DeBruce says, man, Troxel, I love your positivity. You need to keep that spirit because I sure can't. I definitely, I like, for me, yeah, I'm going to be hard on the players. But I'm about the team success. So, like, being a former athlete, I try to, to keep the spirits high because, when you're at least confident, that brings about better play. So, yeah, I might get on, say, a Darius Slay, saying, man, you got cooked like fried chicken. The very next week, he made sure he didn't get cooked like fried chicken. But I always will tell him, like, look, fix it because I know you could be a better player. You have the skill set to be a Super Bowl winning corner. But you have to fix these issues. You fix them issues. For one, you're going to get paid that you want to get paid. And two, you're going to be a Super Bowl champ. But without the grind, without the mental toughness, if you don't have mental toughness, you become soft. Now, I know a lot of players don't like to be called soft. That's a quick way to get into a fist fight on a football field, basketball court, ice rink, or baseball diamond. Like quick, fast, and in a hurry. You call somebody soft, you're acting to be knocked out cold. Oh, I do want to say this. I know this is still not basketball related, but heck, we've been off topic for almost an hour and a half. But Mason Rudolph of the Pittsburgh Steelers is officially back at practice, but still is in concussion protocol. He did get knocked out cold before he hit that ground. And if you followed me on the Steelers and the Steelers and Ravens game, you heard me. I said, "Hey, did he just die?" Like, I literally thought Mason Rudolph died. I was about to say condolences to the Rudolph family. He died on the football field, giving it his all. But he did get rushed to the hospital. And a few hours later, he did get released, and today he was officially back at practicing, obviously in limited form because he is still in concussion protocol. But Mason Rudolph is officially back. So shout out to Mason Rudolph. He's definitely a fighter. He's definitely a soldier. Speedy recovery. And with that being said, I'll read two more comments and call it a day after that. The Bruiser said, "I like Patricia. He looks and sounds like Charlie on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia." Yeah. Chris says, "I used to tell people on the field they as soft as they mama's booties." See, I always used to use "you soft like Charmin." That was my go-to sign. And then here for about the last year, what's the most famous line? "Oh, you soft like Charmin." Man, I've been saying that since 2001. Like, where y'all been at? But with that being said, come back tomorrow for Lions Weekly podcast with the Gridiron Blitz and myself. And then we're going to be getting ready for... there is no Pistons game on Saturday, so I'll probably do another Pistons live. Hopefully we'll be on topic. But, and then we're going to... what do you call it? And then we're going to get ready for Sunday's football games. So we're trying to do a lot of good things here in the Sports Movement Network for you guys. And shout out to, Luke G and the DSA. And shout out to Detroit Drew. He was at the game today for the Pistons and Mavericks game. I hope he had a blast. I miss you guys over there in the DSA. Hope, we can at least communicate here down the road. And shout out to Everything King, 313 Hitman, Mondo Ray Moore, and, East Warren LB, Man Beast Morris. Hey, Detroit Drew. What's going on? Speaking of me and I am here. Hey, what's going on, man? I appreciate you stopping in. Hey, did you have a blast at the game? Check that link. It's JT O'Sullivan's channel. Hey, that's the one that wasn't that the one that Luke G was on? Yes, sir. Oh man, hey, how about that comeback? That was crazy. And shout out to Derrick Rose. Shout out to Christian Wood. Shout out to Luke Kennard. Man, this team is coming together. This team is coming together. Oh man, you probably had it been going nuts during that comeback. I was like, oh man. Uh, Chris says Luke and him had on, but I was off the channel since he started. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I've seen a couple of JT O'Sullivan's content. Uh, you know, so uh, so shout out to him. But this is the end of Piston Center Court and post game. I was on for 2 hours and 10 minutes. Hopefully, hopefully on Saturday we can be a little bit more on topic. But man, it was such a blast. I appreciate you guys rocking with the Piston Center Court, and shout out to Detroit Drew. For being at the game, cheering on the fellas to get them hype. And bringing back above the rim. And shout out to the DSA. Like I said, I miss you guys. Hopefully we can talk it and and get over whatever that needs to be talked about. You guys got my number. So definitely, hopefully we can talk and and move past. And hopefully we could do a mega show. I would love to have a mega show with the Outsiders, DSA, and everybody that does, Detroit sports coverage all on one show. Like, that would be the greatest thing ever. I would love to do that with the DSA and DVE and the Outsiders and King and everybody that does Detroit content. Like, that would be probably the most fun show that YouTube would ever have. But shout out to everybody that does Detroit sports content. Love you guys all. I support you guys all. And with that being said, you guys all have a blessed night. Enjoy the night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for on my channel for Lions Weekly podcast, and then on for on Saturday will be another episode of Piston Center Court, and then our Friday or Sunday games. So you guys all have a wonderful night, and take care. Have a nice night. Troxel Sports Talk, and I'm out. Peace.